"What for?" sighed Yegor, taking off his cap and wiping his red forehead with his hand. "There is no object in my coming. To go for an hour or two is only waste of time. It's simply upsetting you, and to live continually in the village my soul couldn't endure. You know yourself I'm a pampered man. I want a bed to sleep in, a good tea to drink, and refined conversation. I want all the niceties, while you live in poverty and dirt in the village. I couldn't stand it for a day. Suppose there were an edict that I must live with you, I should either set fire to the hut or lay hands on myself. From a boy I've had this love of ease. There's no help for it. Where are you living now?" "With the gentleman here, Dmitri Ivanitch, as a huntsman. I furnish his table with game, but he keeps me. More for his pleasure than anything." "That's not proper work you're doing, Yegor Vlassitch. For other people it's a pastime, but with you it's like a trade, like real work." "You don't understand, you silly," said Yegor, gazing gloomily at the sky. "You have never understood, and as long as you live you will never understand what sort of man I am. You think of me as a foolish man, gone to the bad, but to anyone who understands, I'm the best shot there is in the whole district. The gentry feel that way, and they've even printed things about me in a magazine. There isn't a man to be compared with me as a sportsman. And it's not because I'm a pampered and proud that I look down upon your village work. From my childhood, you know, I've never had any calling apart from guns and dogs. If they took away my gun, I used to go out with the fishing hook, and if they took the hook, I caught things with my hands. And I went for horse dealing too. I used to go to the fairs when I had the money, and you know that if a peasant goes in for being a sportsman or a horse dealer, it's goodbye to the plough. Once the spirit of freedom has taken a man, you will never root it out of him. In the same way, if a gentleman goes in for being an actor or for any other art, he will never make an official or a landowner. You are a woman, and you don't understand, but one must understand that." "I understand, Yegor Vlassitch. You don't understand, and you are going to cry." I'm not crying," said Pelagea, turning away. "It's a sin, Yegor Vlassitch. You might stay a day with luckless me, anyway. It's 12 years since I was married to you, and there has never once been love between us. I'm not crying." "Love?" muttered Yegor, scratching his head. "There can't be any love. It's only in the name we are husband and wife. We aren't really. In your eyes I'm a wild man, and in mine you are a simple peasant woman with no understanding. Are we well matched? I am a free, pampered, profligate man, while you are a working woman, going in bark shoes, and never straightening your back. The way I think of myself is that I am the foremost man in every kind of sport, and you look at me with pity. Is that being well matched?" "But we are married, you know, Yegor Vlassitch," sobbed Pelagea. "Not married of our free will, have you forgotten? You have to thank Count Sergei Pavlovitch and yourself. Out of envy, because I shot better than he did, the Count kept giving me wine for a whole month, and when a man's drunk you could make him change his religion, let alone getting married. To pay me out, he married me to you when I was drunk. A huntsman to a herd girl! You saw I was drunk. Why did you marry me? You weren't a serf, you know. You could have resisted. Of course, it was a bit of luck for a herd girl to marry a huntsman, but you ought to have thought about it. Well, now be miserable, cry. It's a joke for the Count, but a crying matter for you. Beat yourself against the wall." A silence followed. 3 wild ducks flew over the clearing. Yegor followed them with his eyes, till, transformed into 3 scarcely visible dots, they sank down far beyond the forest. "How do you live?" he asked, moving his eyes from the ducks to Pelagea. "Now I'm going out to work, and in the winter I take a child from the foundling."